So, it's been a while since I've done one of these talking to camera video things. I'm really not used to it anymore. But I saw a video by NotJustBlonde, she's also known as Xana on Twitter, and I was inspired to make a video on it myself. For me, it's a little bit of a weird thing to talk about, and I know I wouldn't be able to just talk about it by talking straight at the camera like I'm doing now. I've actually got notes, which is a thing I haven't done in a long time. But if you want to find her video, her channel is NotJustBlonde. You can find the link down there because annotations aren't a thing anymore. And the video was about body positivity and how she views herself and teaching herself to hate herself, which it is not as bad as it sounds in context. She explains it a lot better than I do. I recommend go watching her video. But it was something that struck with me and I wanted to talk about it myself. For a guy, body positivity and that sort of thing tends to be a little bit of a weird subject to talk about because there is a very stereotypical view of what a man should look like, or at least society's expectations of what a man should look like. Stereotypically muscly, quite fit, that's the general stereotype of what a man should look like, and I feel like that is changing a little bit and that's fine, but I generally don't see many guys and stuff talking about body positivity, which is why I wanted to put myself in on the topic. It's something I've talked a lot about with friends and stuff, but I don't think I've ever put anything about it on the internet, whether that be through typing, I'm not sure I have ever, or through this platform, but it is something that does get to me, because I'm clearly not the most masculine of guys. I mean, I've got purple hair right now, which probably isn't considered a very masculine thing, but I like it, and it used to bum me out quite a lot, until I started to accept that's just who I am, that's me as a person. I shouldn't have to fit these stereotypes. I should be able to have purple hair if I want to, and it shouldn't matter. I'm also a bit chubby, and that is an okay thing. It's something that's taken me a while to accept that it's an okay thing, but I'm slowly coming to terms with it, and it is something that I can change. Not that it should have to be changed, but even now I am still self-conscious about it. For example, the camera angle, I'm looking up. If I were to put it on a straight on angle, from straight on, my head is naturally just a bit round, but that's okay. And while I say it's okay, it's still obviously something I'm a bit anxious about, which is why I tend to use the higher angles. I'm gonna go back to that now, because I'm already nervous enough making this video. That probably becomes quite clear through this whole thing. As I say though, even though I am chubby, there's nothing wrong with that. People can be chubby, as long as you are happy and it's not putting your health at risk, then you go ahead, you be chubby, you be happy being chubby. And I know I can change it if I want to, and I am trying to do things that will help me accept myself a bit more. Things that I try and do that will help me out with this a little bit are exercising a little bit every day, even if it's going for a walk or doing a few push-ups or anything at all. Just something that gets me doing a little bit of exercise helps me out massively. It helps my confidence, because when you do start to see results, it will help you have more body confidence naturally. This one sounds really obvious, but I try and wear clothes that are my size now. Before, and I still do have a habit of doing it, I will tend to buy clothes that are a lot bigger than I am, because it means you won't generally see what my body looks like. However, that does tend to make me look larger. So if I wear clothes that actually fit me, for example, this t-shirt is an actual, it fits me properly, it's not baggy on me, and it looks okay. I'm okay with the way this looks. And I was getting incredibly warm wearing that. That was another thing, and I had to take that off because it's proving my point. This, while very warm and comfy, is very baggy and hides everything about me. And that's something I'm trying to avoid doing more and more. Obviously now and again I do have low confidence days, and in those days I tend to look back on the past and look at comments that people have said to me, for example, calling me fat, stuff like that. And that's just not a good thing to do, and I know it can't always be avoided, but I'm slowly trying to avoid doing that, because it doesn't help anyone, it just makes you dwell on it, and I guess you kind of tend to believe those comments the more you hear them. And if you keep repeating them in your own head, it's just you telling yourself that those comments are true. So generally, if I am having a low confidence day, I will try not to dwell on those comments. if I'm having a particularly bad day, I will try and find one positive feature about myself, even if it's like the dumbest thing. Like, I like what I'm wearing today, or I like the way my hair looks. I'll try and find one thing that I like about myself that day, and that it sometimes helps, but it also sometimes tends to make you find flaws in yourself, and that can also be a bad thing. But the one thing I think is most important to remember is that no matter what, my friends and my family still love me for the way I am. The way I look doesn't change the person I am, and Xana made this point as well. I'm worth more than my body image and what I look like. I'm more than skin and physical features. Is what I do, what I say, the people I meet, the impressions I make, that are the most important things. I think that's one of the most important things to remember. No matter what I look like, the things I do and my personality will still remain. My body is just the vessel that carries all of this and allows me to do these things. Nothing changes. I know this has been a bit rambly and I've been very awkward. I haven't done this thing a long time, especially with not such a personal issue to myself. But I'd like to talk about more stuff like this. And if anybody has watched this and has listened to this sort of thing and is affected by it, just remember that there is always help out there. There's always someone to listen. Even if it's someone you don't know, just give them a message. My DMs on Twitter are always open. I'm just at @EllaCray. So yeah, thanks for listening to this rambly body positivity thing, and go check out Xana's video as well. Bye.